Hello, welcome to Truth Not Tradition, online Bible study for March 5th, 2018. I'm Tony Smario, coming to you from my father's YouTube channel, BroSal.org. And well, the jury is in. It was in, but we had to make sure. We put up pictures of nearly naked women and we got the same 40 views. So if we weren't already sure, now we can be sure that only the subscribers, only a small portion even of our subscribers ever watch our program. There's not a soul in the world of BoobTube that sees those covers, that gets a chance to hear any of this. And so, that's a shame. And Dad and I are working on trying to change that because it just seems, I don't know, it seems like an injustice that we're doing all this work and for years, and somehow the method of YouTube has changed, because a couple years ago we had one commentary got almost 15,000 views, and others were at that time were getting 1,000 or 2,000. So it was obvious, and we didn't even have 100. We had about 100 subscribers, so we had half the subscribers or less, and nothing different that we were doing. Far less experience as far as the number of content and the time that we'd been in doing it, and yet immeasurably more visibility. So somehow, I don't think it's that YouTube's necessarily turning us off. That's not really how it has to work. It's that the system, it's like the way the whole pot grower system used to be illegal, and so it was only the rebels that were doing it. Just like the guys that were bringing to the truth, like John Judge, and different researchers like Anthony Sutton that you've never heard of now that you could, and the alt world could be screaming their names. You still don't hear of them, because at the time they were the rebels that were taking on the system, and many of those got killed. They made that movie in the last couple of years, Kill the Messenger, about one of those reporters that wouldn't let go of a story. So there's always been that rebel voice trying to point out, as I was saying last week about America, hey, that's not a tomato. That's not a politician. That's not a free market. That's not a fair trade. That's not an equal society. That's, lies, 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 lies. It's just all lies. And so there's always been that rebel voice, but it's never had a sort of a platform that could reach so many people. Just like there was always these pot growers, but they had to be on the sly. They were illegal. Well, now they make pot growing legal, and for a short time, all those sly rebels got to just come right out of the closet and have in the allegorical sense to YouTube, have a voice. But for a very short time, anyone that follows that progress knows that, William Morris, or whoever the big cigarette company, is already in business making packs of them that cost $80. And it's slowly being regulated away from any possibility that the small grower with just a space in his yard or something like that could ever even legally grow. All the regulations are changing, and I've been predicting that for years, knowing how the system works, that in another decade or so, you'll find it's just all the corporate giants, own that business, and nobody else can compete, or if they had the gumption to invest enough to try and compete, then they'll either be bought up or pushed out in some way. They'll change the regulations. I had a friend in the milk business. His father was a dairy farmer, and he inherited the father's farm, and he finally had to sell it. He said how they do it is they just keep coming in, and with new regulations, say, your equipment's no longer up to code. If you want to keep up to code, you'll have to upgrade your equipment. Yeah, that'll cost you $500,000, but you can sign on the dotted line. We'll loan you the $500,000, and now you owe it to us. But of course, now you better give your cows the hormones we say, and blah, blah, blah. So they take over the industry through leverage, of course, money through leverage. You can't afford to compete, or you can't afford to break the law, keep up with the regulations. They make it untenable. And so I'd say the same thing's gone on BoobTube. That's how they do it. They just keep making it so that voices like mine without some investment of some kind can't keep up with all of the, even if it's artificially invested voices, even if it's all CIA money. What it does is drowns out the real voices, but the real voices were necessary in the beginning, or at least the idea that it was possible to get everybody hooked on the medium. And now that everybody's hooked on the medium, you can't hear any real voices, or you can if you're fishing, if you want to watch somebody fish. But if you want to watch, listen to someone talk about politics or religion or anything important, apparently there's just no possibility that those hashtags will be seen by anyone except the few subscribers now that we already have. So somehow we missed the boat, is what I'm trying to say. The whatever changed in what it takes for people to keep seeing your covers so they can decide on the topic if they want to take a chance and listen to you. We missed that, and we must have missed it right around the time we were putting out the Think or Swim series, because I could never understand. As I've said, that was scripted to be something that would be the most digestible by the industry or by the watcher. It's, they're fairly short, they're more pointed subject matter, not as long-winded as I usually am. And they have even graphic moving pictures so that the story can take on a little more impact in that short time. So those should at least get enough views to tell us whether anyone likes the story that I'm telling in that series. And yet again, that's one of the lowest watched series. Apparently, you people that are subscribers, you don't care anything about any of that. It's funny though, but if we put up pictures of Putin or North Korea, or put those titles, China, North Korea, Russia, half of the subscribers go check it out. Isn't that funny? You're not interested in the Bible study. You're not interested in, anything really, which shows me you're still listening to your television. You're titillated by what's really going on with North Korea. Well, I'm the one saying they're our partner. How come there's no discussion from you 100 people? Not a person has a friggin' comment in this. So anyway, it's to me, it's part of this injustice, and I'm going to spend a minute in the front of the Bible study today, just to say that, we found out that our the consultant we hired in India is alive and recovering with his family in rural India, and his office finally contacted us, or we contacted them, and they returned the contact and told us that he's been in the hospital and now he's recovering. He's out of touch from computers. And so anyway, that was interesting. But we did learn some things from him, and Dad has now set out to find us another consultant, maybe one that won't be affected by severe weather. And we're going to hopefully get some answers soon as to, can we afford to get views? I mean, is it like that nowadays, where unless if you're trying to get views in what we're saying, you got to compete with Alex Jones and TrueStream Media and Richie from Boston, and somehow now they pay money to keep I don't know, but we're trying to find out right now. And meanwhile, I'm so sick of the fact that of the even 30 or 40 of you that watch every week, listen every week, we never receive support or discussion from more than a couple of people. Few people at most ever support this ministry. I've been talking to some people trying to get some answers, and one of my friends who knows something about the internet tells me that, if you get out on these forums where the subject matter is most popularly discussed, and you just, you get into these discussion forums and you say, hey, you know, here's my opinion. Have you heard any, has anybody heard of BroSal? We know, excuse me, we know no one has, is the point from this last week in this last few months. We know no one out there knows of what we're saying because we know we're the only ones saying it. And you 30 or 40 know we're the only ones saying it, and you're listening to it every week, and you don't even have the decency to comment. You don't send $5, $10, $1,000 a month so that we could maybe advertise. You don't advertise for us, obviously. You don't get on these forums and introduce anyone, obviously. When I went out into YouTube, I spent, gosh, more time than I'd like to remember. Experimenting myself, watching everything I could about, at the time, flat Earth and the stuff about the Masons and all this end of the world story and the Luciferian doctrine and all this garbage. I invested so much time to get to the bottom of that for myself. And I commented in a lot of places and I said, hey, what about BroSal? What about BroSal? What about BroSal? And it resulted in a lot more subscriptions. I don't know who you faceless people are, but you subscribe, but you don't comment. And then you don't even really watch unless I put something up about North Korea, the most pathetic stuff going on today, because you don't listen to the other stuff, so you don't know North Korea is just distraction and doesn't matter. And yet, basic Christianity, that matters. The day-to-day bombardment of overwhelming lies and propaganda and some sort of stance that can, I don't know, give us a reasonable view of all that stuff and not get us too upset and give us some sort of perspective on the world. So, yeah, I'm a little insulted and offended. And so we're looking into a bunch of changes now. I've been saying it for a while and nobody speaks up. So, at this point, I don't care who you 30 people are. You can kiss the part of me that leaves the room last, You don't deserve this commentary. Go listen to Alex Jones. Go listen to Fox News. Really, I'm sick of it. I'm giving you stuff that I know is taking me years to figure out. And I've spent years now on YouTube trying to find somebody to even talk to or listen to, learn from. And all I've learned is it's a bunch of noise. And it's a bunch of noise to hide a truth that takes a little study. And so I've been offering this for so long, Dad, even, before me, but since we've been doing it together now, we've come a long way in our study. And the appreciation comes from just a handful at most of people. And it's because of them that the rest of you freeloading nothings get the benefit of this commentary. And I'm sick of that. If you people had just been throwing $5 a month at this for the last year, I'd had a little money to invest in a consultant long ago, and that I've been trying to do with this, and you'd have shown some acknowledgement if you even just pitched into the discussion, if you even had an explanation of how you've been attempting in this forum or that forum to further this ministry's voice. But you're just nothing but a bunch of freeloaders. And so, yeah, I can't wait to cut you off. I can't wait to cut you off and give you absolutely nothing of my weekly commentary. Unless you pay for it, and I will charge you for it. And you're going to be really surprised, I think, at how valuable I feel the commentary is in this world. You pay a lot of money to listen to TED Talks or some of this crap. Listen to them propagandize you because somebody with some famous person, some celebrity from their Hollywood or their otherwise Hollywood media has you dazzled. Jonathan Cahn comes to speak. I bet half the Christians listen to me run and pay $100 to go sit in the front row and listen to Jonathan Cahn babble horse manure all over their ears. But to me, you haven't got $5 a month. Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. So here's how it's going to work, the way we see it now. We're going to produce the teasers for YouTube, because that's all YouTube's good for, is what they call clickbait nowadays. And it isn't even going to be clickbait like the last one. Well, I might stick with naked people, but it's going to be little 2-minute, here's what you're missing, here's where to get it. Here's what you're missing about Christianity, here's where to get it. Here's what you're missing about the War, Peace, War plan, here's where to get it. Here's what you're missing about what's going on with ISIS and North Korea and Russia, here's where to get it. And so that's all you freeloaders are ever going to get from me. As soon as I can get it switched over, ha ha, ha ha. He who laughs, laughs, my friends. So, yeah, that's where we're going. And YouTube will just be these little 2-minute teasers that remind you where you can find real truth. And I want to leave the basic, a few of the basic Christianity teachings will be there, so that you can keep watching those over and over and maybe learn something that's important. But none of my commentary is going to be on YouTube anymore. I'm tired of being part of this boob tube. I don't like it. It's an entertainment station, and so I'm working on some entertainment content for BoobTube, because that's all BoobTube's good for, is entertainment, because it's a distraction channel. So, okay, I can't get anyone to listen to me teach over here. Maybe I can provide some distraction. But meanwhile, for those that want to hear me teach, I advise that you start doing something for this ministry like bam, like right now, or your days are numbered, freeloading buggers. I can't wait to cut you off, just so you know. I cannot wait to cut you off. And for those few of you that have been making it possible, thank you. And of course, you'll always have access to whatever I'm doing. And the rest will pay dearly to hear a single syllable out of me once we get this change going. So anyway, it's something to look forward to this year, and for me anyway. There's a lot of changes going on that I'm not really talking about, but this is one that's important to me because I'm so sick of you freeloading scumbags, you hypocrites. Get off my channel. Go listen to Alex Jones. Get off my channel. Freeloaders. Goodbye. All right, for the rest of you, let's have a Bible study. I'm going to get back to the revisionist Bible when I have that as part of what people will have to pay for to hear and see. It's going to be something we'll try and raise money for at some point to fund a true effort, so it's not so piecemeal, but something that can be endeavored to complete, say, a book at a time, because there's a little bit of funding there to get it done. But that's the future. So for now, I want to stick with what's really pertinent. And I started reading Revelation again. I thought, okay, got to go through Revelation again now that I'm not believing there's a Lucifer coming from the sky and they're drinking blood to Lucifer and the 666. And, I'm finally shedding all of that crap that they've got going. And I'll just remind people, if it's popular on BoobTube, if all the Christian channels know, then why Jesus say, this is with him who has understanding, Is that every one of these pathetic Christians that keep saying it's the end time? How come they don't acknowledge that Jesus said you'll hear of wars and rumors of wars, but don't be alarmed? The end is not yet. Why do they think that Jesus is coming and then it's over? Make your peace with Jesus, because then that's it. Well, but what about what it says after that? What about the millennial kingdom and then the little season that the devil's let out, of the short time, as my Bible says, and then the army that surrounds Jerusalem, and then the white throne, then everybody's raised and judged, and then the tabernacle comes to live among men. And then what happens? Right? See, Christianity doesn't talk about any of that as the end game. The end game is all Jesus is coming. That's it. That's the end. It's the end of time. It's the end time. No, it's the end of the age. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of time. It's the end of the age, according to the words. Aeon is the word, not mundo and not tiempo. It's the end of the aeon. And Jesus clearly said, you're bound to hear a word. Don't let anybody fool you. You know, we went through it. So freeloaders, go listen to it again. Those that listen, they know what's going on. So what I started doing in reading Revelation again is sort of realizing that there's such a pattern and a cadence to the way we read it. I mean, Christians don't seem to get that right off the bat. You're identified with these several sort of sources, God the Father and the Son and the Spirit and the seven spirits before the throne that go out into the whole. Oh, Christianity never has a. What are those for? Where do they go? What do they do? You know, what is God again? You mean he's not just floating around in outer space in his tabernacle, waiting to take Christians when Jesus comes and kill everybody else and. You know, we're all going to be kings and priests forever. So, man, oh man, is the story screwed up. Christians don't seem to know that those first few chapters there. Unto the church of Laodicea write. Unto the church, the believers, those that say, I believe in Jesus, who think they're rich and have need of nothing. Unto the people who say, I believe in Jesus, who think they're rich and have need of nothing and don't even know that they're poor and naked and wretched and miserable. You know, gosh, let me hear a Christian talk about themselves as fulfilling that. Since there's no other, you know, who else is the believers who say that? So anyway, Christianity screwed it all up so bad that what I realized is that it's, you know, they've got it so backwards that I'm going to start at the back and back engineer the story to see it from a different light. So that's what I'm doing. Meaning, if you care to read along, turn your Bibles to chapter 22, page 1242 if you got a Bible like mine. Dr. Scott used to say before he taught a bunch of traditional crap. But you probably don't, since mine's the ancient Eastern text translated from the Aramaic of the Peshitta by George M. Lamza. So you probably just have something that says Revelation 22. And in my Bible it opens, and he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, gushing out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. Again, starts with more than one source, ends with more than one source. The throne of God and of the Lamb, not the same thing. In the midst of the great street of the city and on either side of the river was the tree of life, which bore 12 kinds of fruits, and each month it yielded one of its fruits. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the peoples. So, I'm just showing you, where are we going? Well, this is where we're going. This is heaven, Christians. Not referred to as that. Notice, I mean, I dare you. Find me the word, and all the Christians lived happily ever after in heaven. Nope, he showed me a pure river. This is chapter 22, how it opens. And right, we'll go back and back engineer. We'll do chapter 21 next. So let's start frothing at the mouth yet, Christians. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, gushing out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. That's quite a sight, huh? Is that real? Is that allegory? Is this a place? If it's a place, Christian, in heaven, looks like a pure river. We know what a river looks like on earth. Looks like a bunch of water. Pure river of water of life. So it wasn't just any kind of water. I don't know how you make the distinction. What's a water of life look like in heaven? Of course, we're not in, I don't know. Where are we? We'll have to find out as we back engineer this, won't we? Showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, gushing out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. In the midst of the great street of the city. So heaven's got streets and cities, or a city at least, right? It's a city in the midst of the great street of the city. Not the heaven. And on either side of the river was the tree of life, which we've encountered way back in the beginning of this story. There was a tree of life, if you recall. Freeloaders, go back to Genesis. We just went through it the last couple of months. In the midst of the great street of the city, and on either side of the river was the tree of life. Which bore 12 kinds of fruit. So it sounds like it's not like one tree of life. Anybody catch that? In the middle of the great street of the city, and on either side of the river was the tree of life. So it can't be just the singular, right? It means the tree of life is sort of it's a type of tree, not a single tree like God the magician in heaven, right? I don't know. It's the first time I've ever read that and seen that. Christianity, tree of life. Ooh, it's like a special tree, a tree. It's the tree of life. No, it's a type of tree. Apparently there's, I don't know, count them. How many? In the middle of the great street, that'd be one in the middle. And on either side of the river, I guess either side would be two, right? I don't know how many sides you get on either side of your river, but I'm going to say 3 trees of life. In the midst of the great street of the city, on either side of the river, was the tree of life, which bore 12 kinds of fruit, and each month it yielded one of its fruit. That's kind of cool, huh? We don't have anything like that. I guess that's what makes it a tree of life tree. Every month, different kind of fruit. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the people. Imagine that. Leaves. Pharmaceutical industry made out of petroleum, supported by North American, United States of America, dimwit, brainwashed freeloaders, for the most part. Enablers of this terrorist country. Apparently in the future in heaven, Christian, it won't be pharmaceuticals for the healing of the people. Maybe that's not from God after all. Of course, we read in the back there, not in the back, sorry, we read in the Old Testament. Boy, where was it, Dad? I know the freeloaders won't want to remember, but we read how all these gains for ourselves, all our money, all our crap, all our ideas about success aren't from God. Remember when we read that in the Bible study? You 30 people, you freeloaders. These are all from the devil. Because you don't know who the devil is unless you've been listening to me. And you have, you freeloaders, so you know it's you. You're the devil. And so that's what all your worldly holding on to your money, giving me nothing for all my teaching, denying even the acknowledgement, or at least going out into the world, saying something, doing something, being something for this ministry. You're freeloading son of a guns. Yeah, so we read how the stuff of this world and the lusts and the gains and all that's not from God. Remember? That's all bound to go away. All you Christian heaven seekers. Going to a place where fruit coming off a tree, leaves, heal people. Water is pure. That's what, I mean, I don't know. You people waiting to go to the friggin' sky. In the midst of the great street of the city, and on either side of the river, city, river, street. Huh, sounds like floating around with wings in heaven. Which bore 12 kinds of fruit, and each month it yielded one of its fruit, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the people. And that which withers shall be no more. But the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be on their foreheads. Because remember, we got the Antichrist looking to put his mark on everyone's forehead in anticipation of this, apparently. Because remember, we're in the last chapter. This is the end. Not when Jesus comes. Christians, freeloaders. And that, so what's that which withers? I guess I just asked Brother Dave, and, the one or two people that comment, twice a year, and one guy never has a comment that's relevant to what I ask or what I say. But take a stab at this one. And that which withers shall be no more, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it. In what? Now? Huh? Come on now, freeloaders. Let me hear you. You have some coffee. I need to hear from the freeloaders, Brother Dave. I know Dave has thoughts because he thinks. He studies. He participates. He answers. He supports. Man, oh man. Come on, Brother Dave. You and I and Dad and a couple other people that are real, we're going to set up something, and the world wants to learn from us. Let's teach them, These freeloaders that have no voice, like I say, I hope you like seeing my backside. And that which withers shall be no more, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be on their foreheads, and there shall be no night there. And they shall neither need a candle nor the light of the sun, for the Lord God shines on them, and they shall reign forever and ever. Now, this is important because this is who the believers think they are, but of course they're not. Only it describes pretty clear who these people are. I think the believers are the ones, in my opinion. And that which withers, I believe in Jesus, shall be no more. But the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it. Because it ain't in it now. You're blind, and naked, and wretched, and miserable. We are. And we don't know it. We think we're so rich and comfortable. We got so much money, we can't even send the ministry $5 or $10 a month that we listen to every week. But we pay our taxes. Oh boy. And we pay our cable bill so they can keep brainwashing us. And, well, God, you got to pay $100 a month now just to have a smartphone so that you can stay dumb. I'll bet you pay 100 other things before you think of sending $10 to Brother Sal. So, kiss my lips, baby. Here we go. And that which withers shall be no more. But the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. That's what gives you the clue as to that which withers shall be no more. Is not talking about the non-believer, right? Look at how he finishes up here. I mean, take verses 3, 4, and 5 together, since they're obviously meant to be together. And that which withers shall be no more, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be on their foreheads, and there shall be no night there. And they shall neither need a candle nor the light of the sun, for the Lord God shines on them, and they shall reign forever and ever. See, he's not talking about all the nations, right? Because we're going to speak about the nations still. The nations apparently still exist. Isn't that interesting? Christians in heaven? In your heaven? And everyone else is in hell? Who are the nations and who's reigning over who at this point? Everybody's been thrown in a lake of fire that's not written in the Lamb's book of life. We're in the 22nd chapter of Revelation. Why is God singling out these people? His servants, isn't everybody? I mean, who's left? Everybody's been thrown in the lake of fire. Right, Christians? Floating around heaven? Freeloaders? And that which withers shall be no more, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it. And that's kind of a hard one for you literalists. The throne of God and of the Lamb will be in that which withers. Figure that one out. Freeloaders, let me hear something. I'm actually anxious to hear how Brother Dave sees it, because he's got an opinion. But you freeloaders, I'd be so surprised if any of you people spoke up, since you've made a career out of just being silent freeloaders. So Dave, I think, and Dad, and the couple of people out there that maybe don't want me to name them, but I know you listen and you support, and I appreciate it, and I know you're out there. And that which withers shall be no more, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him, and they shall see his face. Right? We're going to get those that serve him will finally get to realize that they did the right thing, dying to live, giving, not pretending they're in the light and they need nothing, don't even know they're poor and naked and wretched and miserable people who serve their money and their ego and praise Jesus, but don't follow him. And that which withers shall be no more. Thank goodness. But the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name will be on their foreheads, and there shall be no night there. There, where the servants of God serve him. And you know what I mean? You get it? Not in heaven. Heaven's a rulership. The rulership of heaven, the kingdom of heaven, is where love, giving, is the authoritative force in the universe. That's heaven. Not a place, Christians, where you have a mansion. Freeloaders, wrong. And that which withers shall be no more, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him, and they shall see his face, and his name shall be on their foreheads. And there shall be no night there, and they shall neither need a candle nor the light of the sun, for the Lord God shines on them, and they shall reign forever and ever. And he said to me, these sayings are faithful and true. And the Lord God, who is the Spirit of the prophets, sent his angel to show his servants the things which shortly must come to pass. Now that verse took me back. Funny how when you read it from the front of Revelation and you get there, you somehow forget that back in Matthew, we read that the Spirit of the Messiah is in prophecy, if I'm quoting it directly. And if it's Matthew. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to. Darn it, we've gone over it several times, and I'm sure that Brother Dave remembers, and probably some of the freeloaders remember, that I believe it's in Matthew, and I might be wrong, is why I'm searching the wrong place, that it says the Spirit of the Lord is in prophecy. So you have to look it up for yourself this time if anyone's got the gumption to do anything about this study. But that's what it reminded me of when I read that, verse 6. Said to me, these sayings are faithful and true, because that's kind of what did he just say? Remember where we are now, Christians. We're in heaven. It's after the lake of fire. We're in the end, the end, the end, the end, the end. Not the end you think is the end, which is like the middle. How come Christians aren't saying it's almost the middle? This is the end, where it's being prophesied that that which withers shall be no more. I mean, the apostasy, the forsaking. I believe in Jesus. And the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be on their foreheads. And there shall be no night there, and they shall neither need a candle nor the light of the sun, for the Lord God shines on them. See, they won't need a candle or the light of the sun. Doesn't see there won't be a sun, right? Or candles. They won't need one. They'll be beaming little lights. Just walk around like my friend used to say when I was young. He used to joke about me like the cartoon. He said, damn, Tony, everywhere you go, you get the little cloud over your head, little black cloud. It's raining. You're bringing the rain with you, bringing the cloud. Right? They'll be bringing the light with them, apparently. And he said to me these sayings, for the Lord God shines on them, and they'll reign forever and ever. What, huh? They won't need a sun or a candle, right? Who's he talking to? Who needs to hear this? If this is the Christian end, we're in heaven, everybody's been thrown in a lake of fire. Aren't we all just floating around in our wings? I mean, the hell's going on with the Christian story? What in the hell is going on with the Christian story? He said to me, these sayings are faithful and true, and the Lord God, who is the Spirit of the prophets, sent his angel to show his servants the things which shortly must come to pass. Behold, I'm coming soon. Blessed is he who keeps the sayings of the prophecy of this book. And I, John, heard and saw these things, and when I had heard and seen them, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel who showed these things to me. And he said to me, do not do that. I'm your fellow servant, and of your brethren the prophets, and of those who keep the words of the book, worship God. Huh? Isn't an angel something that's like a devil, only on the good side? Right? The white, aren't they white instead of red? And they have wings instead of pitchforks, right? Angels are little floaty things that come down from the sky, right? With wings. Huh? He said to me, don't do that. I'm your fellow servant, and of your brethren, the prophets, and of those who keep the words of this book, worship God. Freeloaders, not angels. Worship God. Huh. Christian, that's funny. I wonder what angels are. According to, if all I had was Revelation 22, I'd have to say angels are reincarnated peoples, prophets, just like John that he said, what did he say again? I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel who showed things to me. So John just doesn't know what he's doing, I guess. You don't know, an angel from a brethren. And he said to me, don't do that. I'm your fellow servant and of your brethren, the prophets. Huh. Did the angel just say, I'm just like you? I'm just a prophet like the rest of you guys? So it says to me. It sounds like reincarnation almost. Not really reincarnation, but kind of ghosts. The ghost of the prophet. But he thought it was an angel, so the ghost maybe looked real. So it's like a temporary reincarnation kind of thing. What the heck's going on here? John thinks it's an angel, and the angel has to tell John, I'm just a John. How come John didn't say, whoa, you look like just a person? This person appeared and told me these things. Why John say an angel appeared? What's an angel? If an angel identifies itself as, hey, I'm just one of you. Worship God. Huh. Christians. Love to hear a comment from the freeloader gallery. Okay. Let's just try and move along. Then he said to me, do not seal the words of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. Now, I don't know about you, but that makes me go, huh? An angel told Daniel, seal up the words, for they concern the time of the end. But this angel tells him, don't seal the words of this prophecy, for the time is at hand. How could they be the same time? What are we talking about here? Which time is at hand that this angel's talking about? And which time that Daniel is sealed up that's got to do with the time of the end? Are we, that's a little bit confusing. The prophecies in Revelation have to do with the second coming of Jesus, but the prophecies in Daniel don't. They have to do with that other end we're anticipating before this Revelation 22 that we read about last week, then the end will come, and the storm cloud of people that gather after the devil's let out and the Lord snuffs them out. Is that what Daniel's referring to and why it was sealed until the time of the end? Or was it just because Daniel was written hundreds of years before the Messiah that it didn't want to be mistaken for being a revelation of the time of the Messiah? Anyway, these seem to be the relevant questions. And again, I'm going to find a forum where somebody will speak. Or at least I'm going to charge for every word I say, because that's all there is to it. What I'm doing is too valuable, and what you freeloaders are doing is pissing me off. You're not getting it. Then he said to me, do not seal the words of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. He who is unjust will continue to be unjust, and he who is filthy will continue to be filthy, and he who is righteous will continue to do righteousness, and he who is holy will continue to be holy. And he who believes in Jesus will go to heaven. Isn't that funny? Where's that? Where's he who believes in Jesus? Oh, well, if you believe in Jesus, you're righteous. I don't know. Read Jesus. Read John. Read Paul. Read Peter. They don't seem to think so. Righteous is to be like Jesus, to do like Jesus, to give like Jesus, to forgive like Jesus. That's to be righteous, not to say, I believe in Jesus. That's to be a hypocrite. So this is interesting to me. Then he said, don't seal the words of the prophecy of this book, for the time's at hand. He who is unjust will continue to be. In other words, this isn't going to change anything. Nobody's going to change because of this. The ones that are unjust aren't going to wake up and be just. That's all, right? This isn't going to change. The prophecy isn't going to change. I don't know how else it can be related. What's he saying here? He who is unjust will continue to be unjust. He who is filthy will continue to be filthy. He who is righteous will continue to do righteousness. And he who is holy will continue to be holy. Behold, I'm coming soon, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his belief in Jesus. Oops. Christians, brain dead, freeloaders, no. Behold, I'm coming soon, and my reward's with me to give every man according as his work shall be. Did he support the ministry where he got his meat, or did he just shirk that duty and freeload and go spend his money with AT&T and worship at his altar of money? I know the truth. You know the truth. You think the Spirit of God don't know the truth? Ugh, you fools. Behold, I'm coming soon, and my reward's with me to give every man according as his work shall be. This is another interesting part. In addition to the fact that it has nothing to do with believe in Jesus, the promise, it says, behold, I'm coming soon, and my reward is with me. We're at the very end of Revelation, so I guess we'll have to back engineer it and see, is he referring, I suppose, to what we've already read about the time he came? I am Alpha and Tau, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are those who believe in Jesus. Nope. Not what it says. Again, blessed are those who do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. Ha! What? Where's the believers in Jesus? Where are they? Oh, wait a minute. Here they are. For without are the vicious and magicians and the immoral and the murderers and idolaters and whoever loves to tell lies. Oh, I got an uncle like that. I got a cousin just like that. Liars, backstabbers, love money more than, they're just like selfish, money grubbing liars. But they believe in Jesus. I wonder where they're going to be in this. Where's that in these two? Because it only sounds like there's these sort of, blessed are those who do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life. See, that's who has the right to eat of one of these trees. You do his commandments. What's his commandment, Christian? I believe in Jesus. Well, you walk past the poor. Huh? Doubt it. That's not what I read. Do his command. What do you command? Love your neighbor as yourself. Don't count anything in this world. You live by dying. That's how you do it. You know where heaven's at. You know how to get there. You know where I'm going. Come on. We talked about this. It's easy. I left you the path. You know where I'm going, and you know how to get there. Heaven, Christian. You know how to get there. Freeloader, you don't need me. You're not going to have me pretty soon on YouTube, but you freeloaders, you don't need me. You know how to get to heaven, baby. Live by dying. Give your money to the poor. Follow him. Blessed are those who do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city. Huh? For without, meaning without the city, outside those gates, the pearly gates, right? Are, not were, are the vicious and magicians and the immoral and murderers and idolaters and whoever loves to tell lies. Isn't that interesting? I thought everyone was thrown in the lake of fire. That wasn't written in the Lamb's book of life. Everyone who didn't prance around like my lying relatives and say, I believe in Jesus, they were thrown in the lake of fire, right? That's what my relatives are looking forward to. They can't wait to celebrate. On the day the rest of us are thrown in the lake of fire. I wonder how they feel about me. I believe in Jesus. Yeah, but I'm still afraid I could get thrown in the lake of fire. If I don't follow him, shoot, allegorically speaking, everything I'm about could get just burnt up. Nothing left. Nothing except what I give, what I love, what I've, in the way that I've died to give. So all that seems to be what the lake of fire is, really the allegory for it, in my opinion. We'll see now. We're going to back engineer this story. I'm going to, for me and Dave and Dad and the three other people out there. And the rest of you freeloaders, boy, you better hope you catch this story before we're able to switch channels on you. So, blessed are those who do his commandments. Guess it doesn't even matter if you believe in Jesus. You do his commandments. And we read that. Paul says, those who don't have the law but do the things required by the law are law unto themselves. They don't have the law, Christian. They don't know that Jesus said. They just love their neighbor because they just think that's the best thing to do. Oh, they're righteous, Christian, and you're not, and I'm not. We're Laodiceans if we're not doing the commandments. If we're not acting righteous, if we're not following him, then we're just a blasphemer. We're an offense to his name, the way you freeloaders are an offense to this channel. I got 270 subscribers, and I get one or two people that comment. You know what? Screw you people. I'm not giving you that channel to do that to this story. That's all there is to it. At least when people come from the teasers to the website, they'll see it. Oh, gosh, this costs a lot of money. What do these guys have? This costs a lot of money to study here. So bye-bye, freeloaders. Blessed are those who do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are the freeloaders, selfish, vicious magicians, and the immoral, and murderers, and idolaters, and whoever loves to tell lies. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify to you these things in the churches. This is to you, Laodiceans, and me. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify to you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright morning star. Because remember, there was still debate about that, Christian. You don't just get to threaten everybody. You believe in Jesus, or you're going to hell? You morons. You ever bothered to read the Bible, you brain-dead freeloaders? There was still some debate about that. So he's confirming here, I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify to you these things in the churches, you people that pretend to be following me. I'm the root and offspring of David, the bright morning star, and the Spirit and the bride say, come. And let him who hears say, come. And he who is thirsty, let him come. And whosoever will, let him take of the living water freely. I testify to every man who hears the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add to these things, God shall add to him the plagues that are written in this book. You mean add to these things like threatening people, you're going to go to hell if you don't believe in Jesus? I don't see that in this book. So you better be careful, freeloading Christians. And if any man take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God will take away his portion from the tree of life, and from the holy city, from the things which are written in the book. Where's heaven? Where are all the Christians? Where's all these believers floating around in their heaven, and everybody else is burning in hell forever? How come the story doesn't end with any kind of reconciliation like that? I testify to every man who hears the words of the prophecy of this book. And the Spirit, this is the part to me, verse 17. Verse 16, I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify to you these things in the churches. I'm the root and the offspring of David, the bright morning star. And the Spirit and the bride say, Come. And let him who hears say, Come. Of course, the bride is that one that does his commandments, the one that God prophesied in the end he would marry to his Messiah, that would actually be the thing that's a blessing to all nations. It certainly can't be the Christians. They're the Laodicean church today. 5 of the 7 churches are disappointments. Unless they're keeping his commandments, unless they're suffering for him, unless they're dying for him, unless they're showing brotherly love in his name, they are a disappointment. They are hypocrites. Like the freeloaders that Dad and I have on this channel. That's who Jesus has to deal with these churches. And the Spirit and the bride say, Come. The bride is that body. That gathering of the ones that will serve their master and be the bride of that Messiah. It isn't the Christians who say, I believe in Jesus. It's the followers, the righteous. That's the bride. The ones that are purposely following him to be his bride. And the Spirit and the bride say, Come. Who do they say it to, Christians? We're in chapter 22. Isn't everybody dead in the lake of fire, burning in hell forever? Who are they talking to? Who's outside the city with the 3 trees? Tree of life. Who's out? Who are the vicious, murdering idolaters still outside the city? Let's read that again, brain dead Christian. Verse 14, blessed are those who do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life. So we know we're at tree of life stage, right? This is tree of life point. And may enter through the gates into the city. Well, you can't get much more end to the end to the end to the end than that. We've already been told God is their light. They don't even need the sun. So we're at the end, the end, the end. This is the city at the end of time that everybody's waiting for, the very end. Now, when Jesus comes, this is after Jesus comes. This is after the millennial kingdom. This is after the little season. This is after another great war that surrounds Jerusalem. This is after the great and small are raised, and the sea gave up its dead. This is after the tabernacle of God came to be forever with people. This is after the lake of fire, and anyone whose name was not written in the Lamb's book of life. Right? Christian? Freeloaders? Got an opinion here, freeloaders? For without the city are the vicious and magicians and the immoral and murderers and idolaters and whoever loves to tell lies. Sounds like there's a lot of people outside the city still. Where's the lake of fire? How come everybody's not tormented right now? How come I'm not hearing how the Christians are all laughing and dancing and they're watching the torment of the sinners? Woo-hoo, Christians going to heaven. Morons. This is the only place you can hear something different, and you can't send any money to BroSal, huh? Bye-bye, freeloaders. That's what I say. I'm sick of watching all this YouTube garbage that you'll pay for, all this worldly garbage. Everyone pay. And the only way we can apparently get our voice out, I mean, that's why I'm so upset, is to find out, after all, we have zero visibility, and none of you are helping, apparently. A couple of you keep this ministry alive at all so that nobody can hear it, and the rest of you are just freeloaders. So screw you. We're going to our own platform, start our own little teaching school, and we'll use YouTube for what it's good for, advertising. So, yeah, Spirit and the bride say, Come. They must be talking to somebody. There's a lot of people outside the city at this point. And you got murderers, magicians. How did they make it through this far? Holy mackerel, guys. There's more to the story. than the Christians have been letting on. So if you want to, if you want to know more, hang in there. We're going to go to chapter 21 next week. Thank you so much, Brother Dave, for helping provide this channel for so long for these freeloaders. And for the rest of you freeloaders, your days are numbered. And so I wish you luck with finding anywhere else that you're going to hear anything like this. But anyway, I'm excited about this back engineering because, geez, all of a sudden, it's nothing like what Christians told me. How come there's all these vicious murderers still outside the city, right? How'd they get there? You mean after the sea gave up its dead and everyone were judged according to their works? And the city of God came down from heaven. And now you got a city with streets and rivers and trees and fruit and leaves that heal people. Why do people need to be healed? Come on, freeloaders, let's hear it. Got any opinions? Or are you just baffled by the brainwashing you've received all your life? And I don't know. I don't know why you even tune in here, unless, like you say, you're the other channels who are selling your garbage, and you don't know where else to hear anything real. I'm cutting myself off from YouTube. Anyway, thanks to Brother Dave and Dad and the couple other people that provide for this ministry that is the reason it's here. And only through some sort of acknowledgement is it going to stay in its current form, because I'm not going to keep putting these commentaries onto YouTube to be ignored. I'm going to at least put them somewhere where only the people that deserve to hear them, and on YouTube you get nothing but the advertisement. All right, thanks guys. God bless. Take care of each other right now. Don't believe what's on television. I'll try and get together something this week to just keep us. I think it's important to keep combating the news, even though we know it's BS and we know it's propaganda. We got to keep reminding ourselves it's not the end. This is what we should expect. We got other things we're looking for, and we need to keep examining how those expectations are progressing, and if there's a problem with our expectations. And anyway, we got to be the small group of Christians that keep our mind open, that understand that we've been led astray, that know that we're not good at following him, because we've been trained to think that following him is in lip service, and that we want to be ready, if we're part of this Laodicean church, that when he knocks, and if he's knocking, that we want to open that door, and hang out with him. Let's eat with him in this world that's coming, this end that's coming. He says, I'm going to knock. And those, on this Laodicean's door, what could that mean? He's going to offer the chance for us to do the right thing, like I'm offering to you freeloaders. You've been freeloading long enough, and now I'm saying time's up. It's not helping. You're not helping. You're just upsetting me, because I see that I get zero acknowledgement, and you're holding back the ministry because I keep putting the commentary into a format that gets further and further away from our ability to affect anyone. And the only way is if the support comes from those who listen. So we've got we're like a snowball in reverse. We had more snow when we started, and now we're down to nothing. So we're going to roll in a different direction. Anyway, keep loving each other out there. Keep taking care of the poor and hungry. Just remember what it really means to be righteous. Doesn't have anything to do with saying, I believe in Jesus. If you believe in Jesus, you better get out there and take care of somebody. All right, talk to you soon.